Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm starting this new series about airports in Switzerland. As a huge fan of flight simulators, I thought why not go through all the airports in Switzerland and see how the approach, how the circuits work for each airport. So, if we take a look at the website ourairports.com and we select Switzerland, we'll see that there are a number of airports. Actually, if we go through the official documentation from Sky Briefing, there is a EVFR that's available for free without subscription. And in this document, you will find a lot of information, including the list of airports. And we have airports pretty much in every region of the country. So I say for today, we can start with the airport in Ambri, Lima Sierra, Papa Mike. Now, this airport is located in the south of Switzerland, right here in the canton of Ticino. And in particular, it's located very close to the Gotthard Tunnel. Okay, so here we can see some information about field elevation, coordinates, location, name, and so on. And if we expand this map, we can see that the airport is located over here, and right here we have the entrance of the Gotthard Tunnel. All right, so let's see how the circuit at this airport works. Unfortunately, I cannot share with you the official documentation of Sky Briefing. I'll look at the documentation, but I'll share with you only the one that is available from the good guys at EVAO, which is very, very similar. So here we have basically a replica. The information are not exactly 100% accurate, but I would say they are a good 90% accurate, and they try to be as close as possible to the official documentation. So the interesting part of this airport is that it's located at 3,241 feet. So of course the air density is a factor. And we have two runways. The circuit is at 5,000 for runway 10 and for runway 28. Now the caution message, which is available also in the official documentation, states that for takeoff from runway 28, we need to take care of falling winds between Piotta and Airolo. Now Piotta is right here and Airolo is right here. Oh, actually right here. So in this region right here, there is a risk of falling winds. And if we continue, we'll see that basically, flying condition at this aerodrome are rendered more difficult because of its location and north wind conditions up to maximum 10 knots. It is recommended to single engine aircraft to take off on runway 10. Use the whole runway length. So that's what we will try to do in the sim. Take off from here, and now because I've never been at this airfield, I'd like to try to find some key points of things that we can look at in the sim. So as soon as we take off, we will go slightly to the right, and then let's say we start to do this U-turn. There is an interesting mark here. There is like a point where the street, let's say the old street, goes above the freeway. So that might be a mark to keep in mind. Eventually here there is a cable, and here we can start our U-turn. Now if we are at 5,000, probably that's not a factor. I can see that, however, it might be a factor if you are trying to land. So we'll try to be at 5,000 here so that we can go straight, because I can tell you these are gonna be two very steep walls, and right here we should pass without too many problems. There will be a lake, however the lake is probably too high, so we won't be able to see the lake. And then I'd say for the base, we have to basically turn base and pass over the little lake that there is in Airolo. Then we come back and we can align, I would say, with the freeway to go and land. So the key marks, I'd say this point right here. There should be these two little villages. We turn, make sure to be at 5,000, and then we turn base and make sure to cross the lake in the middle. All right, so it doesn't seem too complicated. We should be able to do that. Now, one interesting factor about this airport that unfortunately is not available on the public documentation, but I think it's very, very interesting, is that among the other things, this airport has a barrier remote control. Basically, if we take a look at the airport, and let's see, if we take a look at the airport, somewhere over, let's say somewhere over here, and somewhere next to the threshold, so it's probably, actually it's probably here and here, there is a barrier, or there are barriers, and those barriers can be, of course, as the name says, controlled remotely. And to activate them, you basically push to talk 5 times in the interval of 1 second, and that tells to the system to close the barriers for 3 minutes, which I find very, very cool. If we go here, maybe we can see one of the barriers. Actually, I think I'm right behind. Yeah, right there, we can, actually I zoomed the wrong way. Right there we can see one of the barriers, and yeah, it's very interesting. You can control them by pushing 5 times to talk in the interval of 1 second. So that's very interesting. Of course, you have to do it on the correct frequency, and that would give you 3 minutes to land without traffic on the runway. Very, very cool. Now, because I like to experiment a little bit and learn how to fly different airplanes in the sim, today I'm playing with the Sling. And the Sling is a quite interesting aircraft. It resembles the aircraft that I fly most of the time, which is a Sonaka. And it has a slightly more powerful engine, and I think in the sim it should perform well. So finger crossed, everything goes well. Now being said, let's open the sim. Let's see how it goes. So I've already attached my joystick. Everything is ready to go. I have the checklist also on the iPad. I haven't really figured out how to how to show you the checklist on the screen at the moment. I'm still working on that. Okay, so here is the airplane, here is the airport. I'll keep it like nice and clear so that we don't have any issue with the system, because I don't know if I can handle recording and playing at the same time. Let's customize. Let's take off from runway. Let's take off from runway 10. Okay. Confirm. Start flight. And now let's see the checklist is right there. So I read in the documentation that you can actually specify during the startup that you want the engine to be already on. I'm not exactly sure what they mean with that. So I don't know if I really have to go through the all the checklist. Let's see. So 37, pre-flight inspection, picnic. What is that? Picnic. Okay, never mind. Let's go like this. Let's see what it looks like. I will put myself in the corner so that I don't disturb you. And let's see. All right. So this is already not on. Let's go through the, well, before engine start, I don't think so. Engine start is, gets already done. Flaps, control, okay. So before takeoff, okay, let's see, before takeoff, facing to the wind, oil temperature. Let's see the oil temperature. Oil temperature is in the red, but rising, so we'll take a look at that later. Tank, both tanks are the same. So fueler tank, I'd say, doesn't really matter as long as not off. Engine, yeah, that's for later. Lane A, B on. Fuel pumps, auxiliary fuel, main pump is there. Fuel pressure, let's see the fuel pressure. Oil. I'm actually thinking, where do they have the fuel pressure? Fuel quantity. So this is a slightly different system from the one that I use. Let's assume it's just a sim. Let's assume the fuel pressure is okay. Fuel pumps, auxiliary on, main on. Fuel quantity, circuit breakers, all in. Switches. So strobe light, taxi light, landing light, nav light, pitot. Heat we don't need. I assume it's not so cold. So switches check, instrument. I mean, airspeed 0, attitude indicator erected and stable. QNH, let's assume is correct. Airport elevation was 300. Let's see, 300. So 3241, we are at 3300, so within the limit. And gyro, let's see the gyro. What is this compass? Oh, the sim doesn't have a compass. Okay, never mind. So gyro is not similar to compass because compass is missing. In controls, so left up, right up, rear down, and controls are free and correct. Trim, what is the trim? I don't see any trim in this sim. Okay, then I will use just the controller here and set it for takeoff. Flaps stage 1 for takeoff, so flaps is set stage 1. Engine parameters, let's check again the temperature. Now we are at 53, very good, all within the green, and we are ready to go. Canopy closed and locked, harness secure, brief passenger. Okay, super. So let's see. Takeoff, it's a throttle, engine speed, rotate. We rotate at 45. The airspeed for Vx is not specified, but the airspeed for Vy is 72. So we rotate at 55s. We climb at an unspecified speed, and then we continue. After 300 feet AGL, we continue at 72. I like this checklist. And of course, clear of obstacle, lower the nose, flaps up, yes. Okay, so let's go ahead, let's give it a shot, let's see how it goes. And actually, let's see the brake here, it's off, parking brake off, right? We should be ready to go. Let's go full power. Our speed alive, 45, rotate. We climb probably a little bit too fast. I have to see a little bit of nose. So then we go slowly to the right. And I will check again the it's very sensitive. Let me check the circuit. Yes. Okay, let's say clear of obstacle. Looks up. Lower the nose. We are very close to the mountain. Let me just check from outside. Actually, no, we're not so close. It does look close though. Yeah, and we are climbing with 72, so we are slightly too fast. Now we'll pause in a moment, just because I'm trying to find the key marks. Okay, let's see. Shift 8. So there we have the point that I mentioned before, where the old street crosses the freeway. Now the sim doesn't have all the details. I probably should include more details in the future, but basically right here there has to be a city, and right here another one, and the circuit goes all over here, and we should be back around 5,000. So let's try to do that, and yeah, basically we should be good. Let's continue. So here I don't see any climb check. It's always very tricky. Let's try to pass not too close, 500 feet. All right, we are approaching 5,000. Very good. We should be turning. Yeah, I think we are doing good. We should be able to turn above that little hill right there. I don't like it though. We are maybe losing just a few feet. It's actually just a few feet, but we don't have much room. Yeah. So we done the circuit as expected, and let's see from outside. Actually, from outside looks very good. I think it's the sim that makes it look like we are passing so close to those trees. So right now I'm a little bit high, and I'm pretty much following the path of the circuit. And somewhere over here there has to be probably the lake, I guess over there, and Aerodrome should be there. Now, interesting part is that we don't have the speeds for this airplane, so I'm kind of guessing here. 90 seems like a decent number. To a certain point I should probably do auxiliary fuel pump off, fuel pressure check. It's actually not in the checklist. That's what I typically do on my plane, which is also a Rotax, which also uses a Rotax engine. And yeah, it's really cool plane, the Sling. Okay, so let's say we are flying pretty good. We are a little bit above 5,000, but we are flying pretty good. And right, let's see, right there, no, is our runway. So right there was our runway, and we got a little bit distracted. Let's go back. And over there we should see the lake. I think I see it right there. So we should be able to turn base somewhere over here and intercept the lake. Perfect. So I'd say we can start with flaps takeoff, compensate the ballooning. So the lake is there. There should be a river, I think is over here. And I think after the river we should start slowly turning. And maybe also descending. Perfect, so approaching glide. Flaps takeoff, we reduce power. This is maybe a little bit too aggressive. Let's turn slowly. We have plenty of time. We pass over the lake. The fact that we don't have speeds for the circuits, it's very challenging, but there we have the runway. We definitely need to go down. We are on the correct path, so I think all in all pretty good. So let's try to go down with 500 feet a minute. Maybe auxiliary fuel pump on. Looking good. And then at a certain point, right over the point where the river does an S. So let's pause for a second. Shift 8. So yes, the S. We are right over the S. So right over here, we start to align ourselves to the runway. That's really a cool airplane. I like it. Okay, I'd say flaps landing. So it's compensating a little bit. The trim is completely off on my joystick. We have a displaced threshold. So we have to keep that in mind. And we are required to touch down after that white line over there. So let's see, we are a little bit high, but slowly getting better. Little bit steep. I was getting maybe better. Let's see. All right. Definitely the joystick does not respond like the real plane, and we are maybe a little bit off center line, but we managed to touch down. So there we go. Here you have it, a circuit in Ambri, and let's take a look at the landing from outside. So we can, there is a beautiful feature of explain, where you can basically look at your landing, and that helps you to analyze and see what you're doing correctly, what you're not. So we are slightly, actually we're not that bad. We're on the center line. We were a little bit high, we corrected at the end, and right here the flare is maybe a little bit shy. And I think, oof, pretty good. Yeah, then we managed to go back on the center line. So there you have it. This is the circuit in Ambri. I hope you enjoyed this simulation. I'm planning to go through all the airports in Switzerland, so let me know in the comments which airport you would like to see next, and let me know which airplane I should use for the next video. See you in the next one.